loyal subjects, today we are here to discuss the long-awaited 5th book in the Heroes of Olympus series, The Blood of Olympus by Riordan. You guys, this is it. This is the end of it all. The end of Percy and Annabeth and just everything. Wow. And can I just say before we start how much I just adored this book. It was everything that I wanted out of it. I'm sad that it's over, but at the same time I can't help but feel so happy. I read this so quickly, and as soon as I finished it, the first thing I wanted to do was to write a letter to Uncle Rick and to just thank him for making these characters and this story and just being great in general. Anyway, I'm getting sentimental and we haven't even talked about the book. So if you haven't read all of the books in the Percy Jason and the Olympian series and all of the books in the Heroes of Olympus series, you don't want to be watching this. If you haven't read them yet, dude, you gotta rectify that. So the Blood of Olympus. Where do I even start? At the end of the House of Hades, the crew had to split off into two directions. We have the Seven going to Greece to stop Gaia from rising, and then we had Nico, Rayner and Coach Hedge taking the Athena statue to Camp Half-Blood to stop a war breaking out between the two camps. With the Seven, we got some particular focus on few characters. For one thing, Percy and Annabeth didn't have points of view in this, and I was kind of sad about that at first, but then I got over it, because as Rick said, you know, they've kind of gotten the attention a lot of the time. Like 75% of the entire Percy Jackson's books have been told through Percy's point of view. So I was alright with letting the spotlight shift to some other characters. And from the start, we just got the hilarity to be expected with Rick. We have this scene at the start where Piper, Jason and Annabeth are sneaking into this ghost party, and Piper's telling Annabeth, "Annabeth, do you know Morse code?" Of course. So does Leo. "Oh, I'll flash him." Wow, that came out wrong. Classic Rick. Then we find Nike. Oh, that scene was hilarious. "I want a trophy for participation. I think winning isn't important. It's all about having fun." And then we get this line where she tells them that one of the four present, the person that dies, and that was either Percy, Frank, Hazel, or Leo. And immediately my mind jumped to Leo, because we know Percy and Annabeth are sweet. And Frank and Hazel, I kind of flicked ahead and I saw that they didn't have points of view in this book, so my mind was going to Leo. Then we have this whole physician's cure business, where they're going to try and bring back whoever it is that dies. Then we have this plan of Leo's that he's been concocting but he won't tell us, and it just spelled it all out. Leo was going to sacrifice himself and then bring himself back to life somehow with the physician's cure. But I held out hope, because I knew that he had to resolve this thing with Calypso. I really loved that conversation that Leo and Percy had about Calypso, and how Percy apologised that it happened between them, and Leo was like, "Damn it, I just can't hate you guys. You have to be stand-up fellas, don't you?" And I thought that was needed. We had a lot of great conversations and scenes throughout this book. We had that killer scene with Piper and Annabeth in the Terror Tomb. We had all those awesome conversations with Percy and Jason, which basically were just like, bruh, bruh, bruh. The classic dude bros, the two of them. But my favourite relationship that blossomed out of this book had to be the friendship between Nico and Rayner. Oh my god, it was so beautiful to watch it all unfold, because, in case you didn't know, Nico D'Angelo is kind of my favourite character. I could spend this entire video just talking about Nico and everything he's gone through. And one of the most frustrating things that I've had to deal with throughout all of these books is that nobody seems to notice how much Nico does for everyone, for the good of the battles. We wouldn't have been able to win the battle with the Titans if it wasn't for Nico. We wouldn't have found the Doors of Death if it wasn't for Nico. Hazel wouldn't be around if it wasn't for Nico. We wouldn't have so many things if it weren't for Nico. And I feel like he doesn't get any recognition. But that all changed this book. I want to make Jason and Raina honorary members of Nico's body protection squad. That came out a little weird. Hazel is the captain, just so we're clear. Those two, they're such an unlikely duo. They're both pretty secluded from the rest of the seven, and they don't open up that much about their feelings. They're kind of cold on their exteriors, but you know that inside they're both hurting. And when we got Raina's chapters, that girl is just all kinds of kick-ass, by the way. But just seeing them open up to each other about their problems and helping them and becoming friends, it was just great. Those chapters were probably my favourite chapters. Nico just came so much into his own in this book. I think it must have started with the shirt. Rest in peace, aviator jacket, you will be missed. But that, I just picturing grumpy little punk-ass Nico standing there in this banging Hawaiian shirt is just hilarious to me. Nico, you look not a word about the shirt. Not one word. We also had this problem where Nico kept fading like a ghost. He was turning into a ghost from all the shadow travelling he was doing. And Hades had warned him about it, and he just kept phasing in and out of existence, like he was made of smoke. Also, that scene with Hades was great. We finally get some closure between those two. Hades hasn't been the best dad, but I think now it's getting better. It's getting better. They understand each other. But when Nico turned that Bryce guy into a ghost, I was like, damn, bruh. You got some pent-up rage in there that you gotta deal with. Oh my god. Will Soulless, before I get into that, I would just like to say, I called it. The banter between those two was just awesome. No more shadow travelling for you, Death Boy, doctor's orders. Don't tell me what to do, Soulless. And the scene afterwards, when Octavian blasted himself off in a blaze of glory, and we get Nico finishing up his awesome conversation with Jason, where Jason's just like, oh, it's gonna be so great. We can have sleepovers and sit at each other's tables and we can capture the flag together. Are you trying to scare me away? Will just comes up to him and is like, so where have you been, huh? I've been stuck in the infirmary for like 2 days. You don't stop by, don't help to cut bandages. You could have gotten me a snack. Just been like, hey Will, how's it going? When Nico had that conversation is a loose word here with Percy, where he tells him, hey, I just wanted to let you know I had a crush on you for a long time. Wait, so you... Right! Wait, so does that mean that you... Yeah. Wait, so you mean you and I... Yeah, but it's cool. You're not my type. Amazing. The same thing goes to Raina. I always knew she was a strong woman, but I did not realise just how kick-ass she was until this book, when she took down that Orion gross hunter guy, and then the Athena statue blessed her cloak, and then she brought in the statue and was like kicking ass and just, oh, I felt so empowered reading those chapters. I was just like, you go girl, you go. So back to the seven. We have them slowly making their way towards Athens, where we now know Gaia and the giants are gonna do their ceremony. And along the way, we just have so many great scenes, so many great conversations, so many awesome little mini adventures. When we saw that Dr. Son of Apollo guy, it confirmed my suspicions. When I first got this book, I was looking at it, I was like, oh, this is so cool. You got the clouds and like the lightning, the giants and stuff. And I was looking at Jason, and I'm like, hold on. What is that on his face? What is that? Those aren't glasses, are they? Jason does wear glasses. He does. I just loved that touch. I thought it was hilarious. Jason is nearsighted. Jason has glasses. Amazing. Also, just a little PSA to all the people out there who have read this book and still don't like Jason, don't like Piper, don't like Frank. You best get yourself checked out, because there's clearly something not clicking in your head to not like such awesome, funny, smart, kick-ass characters. Jason didn't even get knocked out. I call that an accomplishment. Forget defeating Gaia. This is the real accomplishment. Jason stayed conscious throughout this whole book. Hallelujah. So we finally make our way to Athens. The crew has split up to try and infiltrate the giants, disable their little sneak attack. And we got the thing everyone was waiting for. Percy said, "I love you" to Annabeth. That ship sails. It sails on forever. Persebeth, closely now followed by Solangelo, sailing off into the sunset. And the fight scene that occurred, oh my god, I loved that so much. So, the demigods are back to back in a circle. The giants are about to kill them all. There's nowhere to go, nowhere to run. And then the clouds split open, and from the heavens we get all the gods in all their godly glory riding down and busting out those giants left, right and centre. Oh, we had all of the demigods fighting with their godly parents, and it was so great. Poseidon and Percy, Annabeth and Athena, Frank and Ares, just everyone. And even Hades popping in with his little swallowing up the giants into the earth business. Awesome. So we finally get to the point where Gaia has risen on Half-Blood Hill, and Leo has miraculously managed to rebuild Festus. He, Piper and Jason are up in the air, and they're keeping Gaia together. We're getting all this coolness. We got Piper charm speaking. We got Jason zapping her with the lightning. We got Leo blasting with fire. And then it happened. Leo let go of Jason and Piper, and then Comet Octavian came along and everything just burst into this fire. Of course I knew that he wasn't really dead, but still, seeing everybody crying about it, seeing Hazel crying about it to Nico, and then Jason asking about his death, it was really hard. But of course, Leo is alive. Did you ever really doubt him? This is Leo we're talking about. This kid has gotten out of some tough situations, to say the least. But still, that whole reunion was so great. We have the two camps who are like buddy camps now. They're like this. And we had the nice scenes. We got cute Underworld sibling scene. We got the whole Nico and Percy and Annabeth scene. We got that adorable scene with Jason and Piper on the roof under the stars. And then of course we finally got to see Leo making his way back to Ogygia and finding Calypso, and the two of them riding off into the sunset on Festus the dragon. I mean, I can't really ask for anything else. Rick has done it all. You know, I just, it was very satisfying, I suppose. I think this might be my favourite. Maybe it's because of all of the Nico we got in this book. That might have something to do with it. I guess that's all I have to say about this. Now that this series is over, I just have to look forward to Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard. We now know that Magnus Chase, the protagonist for Rick's new Norse mythology series that's coming out next year, is the cousin of Annabeth. Will we see Annabeth? Maybe Percy? Maybe some of the other demigods? I don't know. But I do know that Rick is just going to keep pumping out these awesome books, and I am good with that. more than good. I am amazing with that. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys today. I will see you next time. Goodbye.